Super Typhoon Ragas struck Taiwan, causing flooding in the eastern county of Hualien and causing catastrophic damage. Wind gusts reached 285 kilometers per hour, 80 meters per second, equivalent to a Category 5 hurricane. According to Reuters, 17 people were killed and another 152 local residents are missing. The typhoon also hit the northern Philippines, where 3 people died. It reached Hong Kong and southern parts of mainland China. According to Reuters, authorities said that the dam breach in Hualien County released about 60 million tons of water, enough to fill about 36,000 Olympic swimming pools. Many people went missing or died due to landslides. According to the Philippines news agency, citing Juni Castillo, a representative of the Philippine Civil Defense Office, preliminary data shows that around 44,000 families, or 159,000 people, were affected by the super typhoon. Most of them lived in the regions of northern Luzon, central Luzon, Calabarzon, and Mimaropa. The most powerful typhoon of the year, Ragasa, passed through Hong Kong. More than 100 people were injured, and the authorities declared the highest level of danger the day before. Waves crashed into the southern and eastern parts of the region. Water flooded the city streets, and strong winds uprooted more than 1,000 trees. The authorities opened 50 temporary shelters, where more than 900 people took refuge. City officials reported 85 cases of flooding and 4 landslides. There were no casualties. The local airport canceled all flights. And according to the Harbor Authority, around 140,000 passengers were affected by delays over 2 days. Some flights have now resumed. In southern mainland China, authorities evacuated around 2 million residents. Despite the typhoon's strength, things could have been much worse in Hong Kong. Hong Kong has adapted to this, as typhoons like this occur quite frequently. They were expecting a more intense hurricane and rain, as was the case in 2018. Typhoon Ragas reached Vietnam in the morning. It has now lost its strength and weakened to a tropical depression, according to the country's Hydrometeorological Center. According to their data, heavy rains and flooding are possible. Experts have already recognized the typhoon as the strongest storm on the planet this year. Gusty winds reached speeds of 168 km/h. But after it made landfall, its intensity subsided. However, it will continue to cause inconvenience to local residents for several more days. On September 24th, nearly 2 million people were evacuated from southern Chinese cities, and life practically came to a standstill. Transport, shopping centers, casinos, and food delivery services ceased to operate, and classes were canceled. In schools and universities, this typhoon is very active and very dangerous. It hit Hong Kong and will then move further along the coast and north to Vietnam. It will remain a typhoon for another 2 days and then turn into a cyclone with heavy rainfall. That is the forecast. On the night of September 24th, Hong Kong was hit. Heavy rains flooded the lobby of the Ocean Park Hotel in the metropolis. Powerful streams of water burst into the lower floors of the building. Staff and guests were evacuated, and no reports of casualties were received. In total, nearly 2 million people were evacuated from southern Chinese cities. At the moment, the typhoon, which is causing huge waves, is raging in Guangdong province, where the major cities of Shenzhen and Guangzhou are located. According to local residents, despite the frightening news, the storm has not caused much damage. Overall, the situation is stable. It's just raining all day, and there are very strong winds that are blowing bicycles, mopeds, and metal structures around the streets. However, there is no serious damage in the city. On September 24th, almost all shopping centers and public places in Shenzhen and Guangzhou were closed. All public transport has stopped running, so life has practically come to a standstill. Residents prefer to stay at home. On the eve of the typhoon's arrival, locals rushed to buy food in shops, quickly emptying the shelves. In grocery stores, students bought up all the food en masse. Instant noodles were in high demand and are now almost sold out. This is because food delivery services have stopped operating during the restrictions. Classes were canceled for students. However, classes are expected to resume on Thursday, September 25th. In a number of other cities in Guangdong province, classes and work have already resumed. The typhoon is almost over. The situation in Macau is also improving. The storm severely paralyzed Hong Kong's financial center, remote islands in the Philippines, and mountainous areas of Taiwan. On September 25th, the typhoon struck Hainan Island, Guangdong Province, Guangxi Zhuang Autonomous Region, and the special administrative regions of Hong Kong and Macau. In addition, its effects will be felt in Yunnan Province. According to the Hong Kong Observatory, the typhoon caused a significant rise in water levels, more than 3 meters above the baseline in coastal areas, the highest level of storm warning has been issued in Hong Kong and Macau. The disaster has once again shown that nature has forces that are close to the limit of the possible. Super Typhoon Ragas hit China, which became one of the most powerful in the history of observations. Its wind gusts reached 285 kilometers per hour, which is only 37 kilometers per hour, less than the theoretical maximum calculated by scientists for tropical cyclones. This phenomenon not only amazed experts with its strength, but also became another proof that global warming directly affects the frequency and intensity of weather disasters. Meteorologists calculate the maximum potential intensity of typhoons based on the energy of ocean water and friction losses. The theoretical ceiling is about 322 km/h. Ragas came close to this limit, leaving scientists puzzled. How much further can the climate push the elements beyond the usual limits? What if future typhoons exceed current theoretical limits? Then humanity will have to adapt its architecture, energy infrastructure, and evacuation systems to new climatic conditions. Already today, coastal cities are designing buildings and dams with increasingly extreme scenarios in mind. Why did Ragas become so powerful? Because of record warm ocean waters that accumulated a tremendous amount of energy. Point 3 interesting facts. More than 1 million people were evacuated in China, one of the largest evacuations in recent years. Ragas caused damage comparable to that of typhoons Hato, 2017, and Menghut, 2018. Each super typhoon gives scientists a unique opportunity to test climate models to their limits. 2017, Typhoon Hato caused billions of dollars in damage in Hong Kong. 2018, Super Typhoon Menghut devastated southern China and the Philippines. 2020s. The increase in the number of extreme cyclones is linked to climate change. 2025, Ragas approached the physical limits of wind speed for hurricanes. Ragasa was a reminder that extreme weather is no longer a rarity and is gradually becoming the new normal. Each such event is a signal that adaptation to climate change should be a priority. Today, subtropical Taiwan, which is often hit by typhoons, has a well-established disaster response mechanism that helps avoid mass casualties by quickly evacuating people from potentially dangerous areas. Over the past 2 days, residents have been stocking up on food, water, and even mobile phone batteries. Business employees have been boarding up windows, securing rubbish bins and garden chairs, while local authorities have been trimming trees and checking underground passages, construction sites, and mountainous areas for safety hazards. The authorities intend to investigate why the emergency response mechanism failed this time, Reuters reported. Residents of flooded Guangfu said there were insufficient warnings about the lake overflowing during Tuesday's heavy rains caused by the super typhoon. All the dead and missing are in Guangfu, where the water destroyed a major road bridge over the river.